Hi guys, welcome to the Talk Real to Me podcast. I'm your host, Macaulay Stahowski. Today, we have two special people in here. We have Anna McCoy and Shannon File. They work with MWR. Today, our topic is the importance of MWR. I'd like to thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate your extra time for coming in. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'll go first. My name's Anna McCoy. Originally from Virginia, but the Navy has brought me out here to the beautiful state of California. I actually know Macaulay because he helped me buy a house. So we're coming full circle with this. I am the fitness manager currently at MWR. Other roles I've held are fitness specialist as well as the sports coordinator here at Naval Air Station Lemoore. Previously was stationed at Naval Air Station Whidbey Island, which is where I got into MWR. So a little background on myself.
All right. Shannon?
I love it. I'm Shannon File, and I am the marketing manager. I also was here via the Navy, so I've been here 17 years. Came from Michigan, actually, which is the Midwest.
There we go. Yeah.
Not Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. Not the East Coast. It is the Midwest, yeah. And so I'm the marketing manager currently. I'm the sponsorship and advertising coordinator as well. But my previous position in MWR, FFR, a few acronyms for you, was I worked in childcare for 12 to 13 years here.
Wow.
So that's my initial background. And once my college degree was done, I shifted into marketing.
Okay. Awesome.
That's how I got here.
How long? So 12, 13 years in childcare. How long overall with MWR have you been?
So I got the job in marketing in 2020, but on some bases, and if you looked at like a hierarchy chart, childcare falls under MWR. So it was on the base.
There you go.
CYP under that FFR umbrella. So maybe we'll get into how that breakdown looks. But yeah,
we will. There's a lot of
same
stuff.
animal, same community.
Awesome.
Just a little different scope of work.
For those of you who don't know, FFR stands for Fleet and Family Readiness.
Beautiful. All right.
For now.
Navy spouses also. So
yeah,
you
correct.
guys
both are.
Former for me. My husband got out in 2012. So
and look at you. You're still
we
out
went
here.
to Fresno State. Yeah, both of us bought a house. Unfortunately, prior to meeting you, so you weren't my realtor, unfortunately. But next time,
Next
when
time
we get
around,
our next house, yeah,
we're here.
yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate that. So what is MWR? What is the purpose of MWR?
So the purpose is so what it stands for. First of all, is morale, welfare, and recreation. So the purpose of this is to provide those things to our community. I like to use the term Navy community just because it's easy, I think, for people to understand, and it's a Navy base. But really, that's more than that. It's our, we have programming for our contractors can be involved in, which is, public works. We have, my husband's now a contractor, so a lot of our mechanics on operations side are former active duty who are now contractors, but it's also spouses, active duty, their dependents, which don't have to be their, just their children. That's extended family members sometimes. And then DoD civilians. So a lot of our coworkers weren't spouses. They're not active duty. They have no affiliation. They just live in the area and work, for our programs and things. So, but we want to provide high quality programs that facilitate recreation. So fitness.
Correct.
Bowling, things of that nature, and boost morale. The military's a hard life.
Yes.
Not just for active duty, but for the families as well.
Right.
So we're here to facilitate the fun, is what I like to say.
I love it. And there's a history that we know about MWR too.
Oh, yeah.
So when did that get started?
So to give you guys a little history on MWR, in 1775, there were a group of people caravanning behind the American soldiers. So MWR originally started with the Army here, and now it is a program that is in all branches, known as MWR, run differently, but still there. And they sold rations and provisions to soldiers, and they made a profit with that. In 1821, they took it back to Congress, and then Congress decided to kind of form the post exchange from there, or the PX, as known in the Army and the Air Force, which is the NEX for the Navy, for all of you Navy listeners that are out here. So in 1821, that was a formal fund that was made in order to start funding these programs. It was not until later that it was known as MWR, but the money was there. And then post-exchange, starting in 1895, started to fully give their profits over to MWR. And then in 1918 is actually when they started my division of athletics of MWR. And then that further opened the door to all of our community recreation programs, our Liberty program, and everything else that MWR offers to sailors and their dependents alike.
You guys have a large list of things that you guys do. Go ahead and hit some topics. I heard you hit fitness a couple times. Obviously, you run that department.
Fitness is my passion.
Yeah. Fitness is too, it's one of our most frequented, obviously they have fitness standards that they have to uphold, active duty and things. So we give a lot of love to the fitness center. It's a beautiful facility. I've been to, several gyms in the area. So we do like our gym. It's a great place to be. But we also have community recreation, which is difficult to explain to people, but that's basically, we've got tickets and tours. So formerly we would run trips. We're currently not doing them. That kind of took a halt with COVID, but some other things took effect as well. But you can buy tickets. So Disney tickets are a big seller, obviously. So
and definitely cheaper.
Yeah. And they come at a discount, right? So we've got discounted tickets. And so if you're listening and you're interested, you have to buy them on site. They're not online sales. Yeah. So you have to go to the physical facility, which is located right next to fitness, actually.
Oh, okay.
And so that's basically, it's a lot of, but it's also rentals. So commands rent equipment, but also civilians. They've got RVs,
Snowboards, skis,
jet skis. I'm not sure if they're boats.
Yeah. Pontoons.
Camping equipment, you name it. So if it has to do with the outdoors and things like that, that's the place to go. So it helps because, when you're moving a lot, it's hard to acquire those items. So when people are PCSing, storage is also an issue, base, you can't park your RVs and things. So community recreation actually is a dog park, is a driving range, is an RV storage, is RV lot, like a campground, so to speak.
You're all in one.
Community recreation is a one-stop shop for basically everything that we offer. Truly, it's got a lot going on. I think that's what adds to the confusion of the whole thing. So, the Liberty Center is similar in an idea that it offers trips and it offers programming, it offers activities and things for people to do, but it's for our formerly known as single sailors, our E1 through E6 active duty.
Okay.
And their guests. So. We have a little bit of confusion because we've got several social media sites, right? So we've got our main page, which is our Navy Life, and then we've got the Liberty program, often confused for ComRec, community recreation, but that does have a purpose. It's discounted as well, but it's really to kind of get those sailors out of the barracks rooms, right? We want them to engage and go out and see the area that they're in and things like that. And we also have bowling. We have a bowling center.
Yeah, especially after a long deployment too.
Absolutely.
You're wanting them to get out and not just stay inside.
In their barracks, which sometimes we in our homecoming efforts, we go and put like gift bags in these barracks rooms, right? And they can be kind of sad. There's not a lot to them. You have a roommate. It's not a very large space. And the Liberty Center is really nice. It's newly renovated. When I got on board, they had just finished. So it was actually formerly the galley of the base.
Right.
And now it's the Liberty Center. And they've got gaming systems. They've got an indoor movie theater with recliners. They've got
Pool tables.
Yeah. They've got massage chairs.
Sign me up.
Yeah, right. Lots of games, but they do a lot of like smaller in-house programming as well. They do a lot of cooking things because there isn't a kitchen in these barracks rooms as well. So it's an opportunity for these sailors to, have meals that they wouldn't be able to prepare otherwise, or show them to ways that they can make food in their barrack spaces, which is nice.
Right.
And then they go a lot of places and they get them out of this valley, places that they can't access via Uber. So Yosemite, they're actually going to San Francisco next month, I believe. Mm-hmm. And they're discounted rates, right? So they put them on a van and they take them up there, which is great.
And is this for still the single sailor barracks?
So we say single sailors. It's a term they're trying to get away from. So then they called it, and that's the thing too, is the Liberty Center is not a term that's used everywhere.
Right.
So for instance, San Diego, they call it the Q zone.
Right.
So I think that is a struggle too. That doesn't have kind of the standardized name.
Yeah. Every base is different.
Yeah.
So.
But their target market and their audience is the E1 through E6 sailor.
Okay.
So that is their general audience, and their guests. We allow guests, but some bases don't. So something to look at if you're going to another duty station. They may not allow guests. But that's where some confusion lies, because now we have this other community of E7 and above. And for our non-military people, that's just a ranking. I don't know how far to get into that, but and so they're wondering where do they take the trips? Where is their programming and things, right? So that's when we usher them to community recreation, which provides those things for our families, for our E7 and above.
Right. I'm looking at your list right now of things that MWR is part of. So we got all Navy sports. We have American Force Travel, aquatics, Auto Skills Center, bowling, child and youth, commercial sponsorship and advertising, community reach, development forces, entertainment, esports, fitness, food and beverage, golf, liberty, libraries, marinas, motion pictures, Navy Flying Club, MWR Rec, and tickets and travel.
I love that you're on this page. This is a very exhaustive list of
it's a
MWR in general. We say marinas, and I'm thinking, well, not here. We're not having a marina.
Marinas subject to bases located near the water.
Yeah, it's just I didn't know, honestly. I didn't know MWR was at every base. So I thought that was just like a special thing.
And not just Navy.
So it's all branches.
MWR, absolutely. This translates. They maybe have different names. So in the Army, CYP, what we know as childcare here, is CYS. So sometimes you have to look at those translations for things. But that is a great comprehensive list of all things MWR, potentially at every base, right? So those things don't exist everywhere. San Diego has great golf courses. Yeah. Do we want one here?
Correct. I would love one here.
We have a good golf course. It's
well, the municipal, but we don't have so in San Diego, the base MWR owns the golf courses.
Oh,
correct.
They're on base, right?
The golf course at NAS Jacksonville is actually PGA rated.
Who do we have to talk to here? We got the space.
That's great. Yeah, we know. You know what? I've been in a lot of town hallish type meetings out here. It's come across the board plenty of times. I think
that's cool.
Water is obviously an issue, right?
So correct.
But yeah, I was just down in San Diego for a training, and I was at Coronado, and you had to drive past the golf course to get to the Navy Lodge there. Was that where I was at? Navy Lodge? Yeah.
Anyway,
you tell me you were there.
I don't know where I stayed. They were really trying to get me to stay at a lot of places, and I was like, no, I demanded Oceanfront Navy Lodge, which they do have, by the way. So
all right.
But yeah, childcare. So that's the thing too. We were getting into the breakdown. So FFR is an umbrella term, and that stands for Fleet and Family Readiness, and it's gone through an evolution as well. We were at one time QOL, which was Quality of Life Programs. So there's been some acronym / name changes, which I think is on the horizon maybe again. We'll see.
Yeah, I definitely feel since you guys have been here, there has been more activity going on.
Oh, definitely.
As far as just you guys not just putting yourself out there, but getting more people involved that are on base. So let's talk about the activities that you guys have done, that you have coming up to. You guys knock out everything you have planned.
Perfect.
Cool. We can start with our most current programming is our Palhana that we are having at the pool on Saturday. It is our summer luau. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be custom lei making.
With real flowers.
With real flowers.
Okay.
Might we add. A free buffet. That's correct. Am I correct
absolutely.
on that?
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
Free.
And
while supplies last.
While supplies last, yes. So get there early. And then a pool party, an awesome pool party afterwards.
Yeah, things for kids. We've got like kids activity packs. It's really a family friendly. It's something that they had done prior to COVID. So, we're talking prior to 2020. And they're bringing it back. And we've got a new events coordinator. Shout out to Rob.
All right.
And so we're bringing this new event back. And we're going to have the Polynesian
Club of Fresno.
Yeah, Polynesian Club of Fresno. Yeah, and we're gonna have like fire dance.
Oh, cool.
So the event is scheduled from 6 to 10, with the fire dance taking place at 7 p.m. or the entire show. So they're gonna do a dance and then a fire dance. So there's a couple components to that.
I love it.
And food will be available from 6 to 7:30.
Do they have to sign up beforehand, or is it just something
it's
that
free?
they can
It's
show
open to
up?
anybody who can get to base. So if you
Wow.
and you don't have to just be on base, living on base. There was a little bit of confusion about that. It's open to anyone who can access. So if you have got friends who want to join you for the night out and they don't live on base, if you can escort them on, they're welcome to join us too.
Is that usually for majority of your events that end up happening?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then there's some obviously that you can pick to keep just military related also, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Like for instance, a military only would be my Captain's Cup program in fitness. So that's our intramural sports program. We offer 6 league sports throughout the year and then some one-off tournaments. Shout out to McCully and Top Hook for sponsoring our sweet golf tournament we ran.
It was
That was
fun.
awesome.
In June. But those kind of programs are limited to active duty and their dependents, as well as our DoD civilians, retirees, and reservists. And that just comes with, background knowledge of funding with MWR. But these programs like we have with Community Rec that we can put on with the awesome sponsorship of other people allows us to open it to more than just the community right within. It can be open to other people who can access through friendships and all that kind of stuff to kind of build. It's community building, right? So we're building a knowledge of the base and what we offer to people, to the community, to develop those community relationships and those friendships, and then hopefully build that sense of community, not just within the base, but within the whole Central Valley.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Not to be confused with open events. So like our air show, open to everyone. So we do have those periodically where there are things that happen where everybody can access base. Let me tell you, it's probably a security nightmare. We don't have any on the horizon yet, but they do come up occasionally. So things to look for if you're not, if you're interested in keeping up with when we're going to have something like an air show, definitely following our social media, which I'm assuming we're going to plug at some point.
Yeah, we'll make sure that your guys' website is on there, the correct one.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
I'm hearing that there is slightly a confusion, so we'll make
break
sure.
down all of the social media website situations to find and absolutely. But in addition to the Pauhana Luau, we're gonna have our barbecue competition again this year, which
I will be entering, by the way.
Which was a lot of fun last year. It was the first one we'd ever done. So a business reached out to us and they kind of help host this barbecue competition. It was the first we'd ever had. But then we had another sponsor, Buffalo Wild Wings, locally.
Okay.
We had a wing eating contest. We had a live band. But this year we're doing it a little different, and we're going to pair it up with a Oktoberfest type event.
Sign me
it's an
up.
all day, October 7th.
Yes.
I have it up here. October 7th. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a Saturday. And it's going to be just a day of food, great food. We're always looking for food vendors. And just a lot going on. We're going to have live entertainment, and of course the competition itself, which is just a lot. It was a lot of fun. I always say that, and my two favorite events: golf tournament, the barbecue competition. So.
And this was the first golf tournament that
It was, and those two really took.
we set the bar high.
Correct.
They were really fun.
I love that was honestly the best day.
It was a day, yeah.
I think it didn't feel like work or anything like that, which was the best part. And then just the amount of people that we had out there golfing with, I heard there wasn't too much help on sponsorship. So hopefully that next round.
Yeah, sponsorship is a whole separate kind of situation, and it's we really wanted those local sponsors for that, and we're always looking for sponsors. I'm the point of contact for that, so if anybody's interested locally to get their name out there on the installation, I manage the sponsorship and advertising. So
Awesome.
Always looking, always happy to also bring awareness to the things that are in the community, because when my husband was active duty and I lived on base, I remember there was a 2-week period I worked on base. There was a Navy exchange, there was gas. I didn't leave base for like 2 weeks at one point, and I was like, wow. It's a bubble, it can be. So it's good to know what's out there, and sponsorship and advertising and things help that.
Right.
Help those people find out.
And it goes directly to helping. I think that's the part
100%
I like.
of the proceeds go directly to the active, the sailors and the families and things.
Right.
So.
I know we do help out with the bags too sometimes.
Yeah, our homecoming efforts.
Yeah, so let us know if there's anything specific that you can think of that would help. We kind of do basic stuff because we aren't really too sure.
Yeah.
But if there's any feedback, hey, they need a little more of this, just let us know.
We'd love to hear. Yeah. Like I said, those barracks rooms can be a little depressing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So whatever we can bring to them when they're coming home, we like to do for them. So the homecoming's a big, and they're back. We can have people present for them. COVID was really odd timing. That's when I came on board, and homecomings were nothing.
Really?
They just came home, and we couldn't gather in groups. We couldn't do anything. So you didn't have people. We couldn't go in their rooms. You couldn't do any of that, right? So it was really at a standstill. And so unfortunately, any sailors, because they were still deploying.
Right.
The military didn't stop.
The work wasn't stopping.
Right. But we were basically at a standstill. The base had its own rules and regulations and things. And so, unfortunately, those sailors came back, and they didn't have quite the jamboree that we try to put on for them now. So
What are ways that the community can help, other than sponsorships when you guys have events? Is there any other ways that people could help out, just that are listening or watching?
I'd say, well, it's like if you're not affiliated with base, and that's the thing.
That's-
If you can't get to the installation, it's really hard to help out unless you're a business, and you can work with us in some capacity that way. Other than that, if you are a member of the community, though, however, and you're not a staff member, you don't work for one of our FFR organizations, we always take volunteers for things.
We do, and we are always in need of volunteers to make our events run without a hitch.
Absolutely. And the bigger the events, the more hands we need, obviously.
Right.
So
4th of July, that was a big event.
it really was. It's our biggest
And
of the year.
It was.
4th of July in the Valley, right? Yeah. But so we do look for volunteer help for the people who can access, so a lot of times that ends up being some of our junior sailors in programs and things, but we're happy to, but also we want to partner with the community for things. So, I'm in conversations right now with the city of Hanford.
Okay.
I'm looking at doing some things in the wintertime here potentially. So ways we can, that's a big important mission, I think, of bases in general is that they have a relationship with the communities that house them, right?
Right.
And they kind of just put these bases in these places, and then they bring all of these people from everywhere, right? And so it's really important to keep that connection with the community.
You're gonna stay here forever, right? Is that?
I've been here 17 years.
I think I just heard you say that.
I'm going to be the mayor of Anaslamar. No, yeah, it's important, and there's a big value in that, and so that's why for the first time we just actually had a Zoom call yesterday. So stay on the lookout for how we can kind of be more integrated with the community,
Right?
Versus kind of being this isolated thing that just it's wild. We will do interviews and people have never been. It's strange for me to think of, having been here almost 20 years and being on the base almost exclusively, that people have never been there.
Right.
We don't offer like tours or anything. So,
Yeah. It's difficult to get on there too.
It's interesting, yeah. And we don't think anything of it. It's just like, another day I'm just going where I always go. So it's I think a hard thing to wrap your head around.
Yeah. And I think that connecting with the community here is harder because of us being so far out of just town in general, right? So it is kind of seen like its own oasis island over here. So
when it's not quite as visible, there's not aircraft carriers sitting out in the yard. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it's different
Right.
image wise too.
Mm-hmm.
They hear us.
Yeah.
they do.
Planes.
Yeah,
They
especially on those
hear it.
homecomings.
Yeah, flyovers.
That's the best part I do love is we know ahead of time obviously, but it's always funny. I see neighbors like coming out to look like, what was that?
Absolutely,
Like,
yeah. It's fun until it's all day.
Yeah.
And
All day. So loud.
I love that jet noise. But I will say, when I was in San Diego, they had a whole different type of plane, and it was really interesting because they had helicopters. I was at a helicopter base, and the chopper was flying like right outside my hotel, and I was like, wow, I could really go for an F-18 right now. I could really go for a flyover of an F-18 versus this chopper.
Yeah.
So that sticker, I love jet noise, was really resonating with me when I was down there.
That's I think especially down in San Diego, you're dealing with multiple bases too.
Right.
So mostly helicopters is what I've seen down there.
That's where I was at. They were right out my window. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to be a part of MWR, is that a possibility or how does that work? Is it
Like to work?
Well, keep an eye on USA Jobs, and any job opening that we have, we post it. We have jobs ranging from working in childcare, working at teen centers, working our gym front desk, lifeguarding, bowling center attendant, and cooks there, mechanics places. We have our restaurant on the base as well that serves both as a galley and as a restaurant.
Wow.
Getting to serve those sailors and their families in two different ways. We're always hiring there. What else do we have? Community rec things, being able to work in the Liberty Center.
Absolutely. We've got
As
administrative functions too. So there's a little bit of everything, I think, whatever your kind of niche is. I will say a lot of our jobs we've got a lot of entry level as well as not entry level too. So there's a spectrum of what your work experience is.
right?
I think everybody's kind of maybe struggling right now with employees. So we're no different. And it may be even more challenging because we have such a high turnover with PCSing. There are seasons where a lot of families are leaving,
Right.
and you're getting new families and things. So we're always hiring. It's like Monsters Inc. Are always hiring in the mailroom. That's us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but yeah, usajobs.gov. That's where we've actually, so that's new too. So we used to actually post all of our jobs on our website, and that's since changed. And now they're all on usajobs.gov.
Okay.
So
It is .gov.
It is .gov. You can find an exhaustive list of every base will actually be present there too. So
I love it.
yeah,
I love it. And then also volunteering, of course, is
we like our volunteers. We offer letters of
Appreciation.
appreciation. That's it.
okay.
Yeah, on request and things. So because a lot of if we have active duty volunteers, they like those for their evals and things too.
Correct.
So, but we appreciate and we like to give back to our volunteers as much as we can too.
I love it. I feel there's lots of benefits as far as MWR as a whole. I feel that there's people out there that need to get out, especially a long deployment. You're gone 6-7 months, or even the shorter ones. I have clients that are there for a month, and they're ready to just get off the boat. So we do appreciate you guys going out there and doing the extra stuff. It's new
Yeah.
to us how involved you guys are in the community. And then not only that, looking forward to the future. Like, I love hearing that you guys are now reaching out to City of Hanford, because once you get local support here, you're going to get it nonstop.
Yeah, we heard they're a real close knit bunch out here. Like I was letting me know, they kind of work with everyone here, and they all really poured in to help. They were kind of specifically speaking about their winter wonderland here.
Yes.
And he was just really couldn't speak, better about how the community really
And that
came together for
Have you
that.
guys been to Winter Wonderland? Have you?
Unfortunately not.
No.
17 years and you haven't been to...
Okay, well, listen, it's
Wow.
brand new. I think it only has been out for 2 years in
So-
my defense.
It's beautiful. It really is. It's a great event. Main Street Hanford throws it.
Right down there. Yeah, where your signage is, and my dentist, by the way.
There we go.
Yeah.
They're great people. They're just like you, honestly. You guys are looking forward and, trying to put money in the right places to the community. This group, Michelle and Brittany, they're the ones that run that thing. And I see the time and effort it takes for them to do that. They do Thursday night markets also. I'm sure you guys have seen that.
We have been to
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Okay,
We have
I have been there.
We do have a military appreciation coming up for that.
Yes.
So we do a little thank you for our clients. So we'll make sure that you guys are taken care of. Some beer vouchers to go out there and
It's always a hit.
Count me in.
yeah.
You
Just
had me at
help
your
helping the community is the goal.
Right, and
know?
that's our goal. It's really rewarding. I think that's the bomb. A lot of us, the job truly is of passion. Just in that, there's this really big sense of reward of helping. A lot of us have been in those positions too. So looking back now, I was 20 when I got married and came here, and I knew nothing. You don't know anyone. I came from across the country, and now to be facilitating for these families and these former me's feels really nice. So I enjoy it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of our biggest obstacles is just getting that involvement.
Yeah, people who share the passion.
People who share the passion.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting volunteers to help out with things.
Just giving.
and-
You want to find that's special. I think the people who understand the value
right.
of giving back.
The
that
benefit.
we like it.
Yeah. I think the downside of the job in MWR is we obviously don't want you guys to leave. That's
Right.
the downside.
Well-
And we know that, PCSing can take you. You don't even know.
Anywhere, right.
That's the downside to where I love what you guys are doing here. Our support's here. You guys know
Absolutely.
that. To where if you need any connection for.
We love Top Hook.
Yeah.
We do.
We really do.
we're trying our best to get even more out there in any way that we can help you guys.
We appreciate it. And the families appreciate it. That's the thing we like to tell, everybody who contributes to this is you may not hear the thank yous all the time, but, they really, it is truly important for them. That sense of community everywhere they go, they're constantly packing up and leaving and going new places.
Right.
And that's really challenging.
Right.
So just giving them that. And also MWR, what's great about it being everywhere is there's a constant, right? So while it may have different communities, different entities working with the MWR programs, that MWR is a place that they can go to wherever they go and say, I know I can find this community group here, right? So if I'm interested in these things, this is where I can go. And that's important. So
Right. Especially the mental state.
Yeah.
it is truly, yeah, absolutely. And it's important to facilitate that for everybody, families included. Like we said, it's from children to adults. We
Right.
cater to everyone. So
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on.
yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for explaining a little further in depth what MWR is and the process, everything from employment to, just the grind and hustle. I appreciate you guys coming on, and if there's anything you guys need, we're here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
No problem, you guys.
We look forward to diving more in the future.
Yeah.
Should you have any more to talk about MWR, we're here.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you.